Welcome to Rethinking the Hype Cycle. I'm Susi O'Neill, your host and author of the newsletter that helps business leaders to unpack the hype from the chaff and make better decisions on what to do next with AI and emerging tech. This is a Tech Trends newsletter in podcast format. You can sign up to get this edition in text and find out about new episodes first. I'll pop a link to a 90-day free subscription in the show notes. Well, it's been a hot one out there, and AI hype is getting as heated as my attic office, 34 degrees. No fun. And in this episode, I'm exploring why your AI strategy has a trust problem. Why is it so hard to get your team to trust your AI strategy and buy into it? What do customers really think about you injecting AI into every service and creative? And listen on for my very sage strategy to build better trust inside and out in your AI adoption. Let's dig in. So picture this. It's been a year since the start of your big AI transformation plan. There was much fanfare, cupcakes iced with your logo, an AI transformation pen, a speech from the CEO on the great AI revolution so we won't get left behind. VPs committed to use AI every day to unleash relentless efficiency. Now, you're the program lead for the AI rollout, and you're in a double bind. You need to get people to use it and prove the benefits. After the initial wave of training, where reactions range from perplexity to boundless enthusiasm to use AI for everything, you've checked the uptake. The percentage of daily users has dropped to single figures. The pilot promising a much-needed operations boost hasn't just stalled, it's spluttered its guts and the engine's dropped out on the runway. Now, the sales team say they find the automated pipeline system helpful. It customises outbound messages, saving each manager hours every week. But it hasn't delivered any additional sales. And proving ROI is like nailing jelly to the wall. The jelly is melted away, and what's left are the stains, opaque and wobbly. The huge efficiency gains the IT partner proposed in the pitch have turned into positive vibes, but you can't measure the ROI of vibes. You review the comments about your big AI transformation on the socials. Some stand out. I want to talk about my order with a person, not a bot. I've cancelled my subscription. AI is destroying the planet. The report for your generative AI campaign at first seems more positive. It has 5 stars. But on closer read, those are the expletives. What most AI transformation plans get wrong, it's not a technology problem, it's a trust problem. AI investment is at an all-time high. The big mama, that's Microsoft, Apple, Meta and Amazon, have committed over $650 billion to data centres and frontier AI models just in the first 2 months of this year alone. Now add in software, consultancy and training, and AI is a $2.5 trillion project globally. But when MIT published a study last year suggesting that AI wasn't delivering returns, the headline went viral. Only 1 in 20 enterprise AI pilots deliver a return on investment. The rest just drift into pilot perjury, projects that can't justify further funding, but often quite can't be killed off just yet. CFOs the world over shrieked like a score of Cassandras. We knew it. Now, the complex truth was buried in a methodology. The ROI window was just 6 months, and productivity gains, typically the primary goal for early-stage pilots, weren't measured. It isn't that AI inside an enterprise doesn't work, but most organisations are doing it in ways that erode trust rather than build it. So why is your AI rollout falling off the table? There's a decline inside the organisation in your teams and outside with stakeholders and customers. So why don't employees trust your AI strategy? 29% of employees sabotage their organisation's AI strategy. Now, it's not about the mid and late stage careerists. For Gen Z workers, that was 44%. I would call a more accurate and less sensationalist term is disruptive participation. The 3 sabotage techniques in the report include shadow AI, using their own AI tool. Now, that's a data security risk, as corporate and customer information could end up in the wrong hands or work its way into an AI training model. But we all love the deep context that comes out of the box with the free version of ChatGPT and Claude. And now your freebie version of Copilot with a crappy file upload limit and goldfish memory isn't cutting it. Next, there's token maxing. That's relentless use of AI tokens to use AI for as many use cases as possible. The corporate push to AI everything has led to this competitive culture, recording the wrong success measures, usage over results. We had OpenAI giving McKinsey a plaque for dispensing 100 billion tokens, and employees rewarded for token use by using them to build a SimCity replica to burn tokens. Now today, rocketing costs reflect closer to the true cost of running powerful yet inefficient LLMs, like the anonymous company that received an eye-watering 500 million monthly bill for unmetered use of Claude. The big winners of the token wars all along, because the casino always wins. Finally, there's disengagement from your AI transformation program. Now, the roots of this are harder to identify. From my annual research about why women are lower AI adopters than men, there are deep-rooted issues, like how a woman needs to prove herself at every step on the career ladder, and AI can be viewed as cheating, and practicalities like getting training and time to learn, which pushes AI adoption to side of desk. It's difficult for those juggling a million household and family things. Now, environmental concerns are valid, but it's complex. There's no such thing as green technology. I mean, we'd be better off going to the park and pointing at things like a Montessori class. But the modern workplace demands computers and digital outputs, all unhelpfully requiring electricity. Then the biggest elephant in the room: what's in it for me? What can I lose by participating? If people feel their specialist knowledge might be mousetrapped, absorbed into an algorithm, then used to make their role redundant, they will disengage. Even at Meta, the business whose entire commercial model is mousetrapping its users, employees complained when their computer usage patterns were monitored to train the company's AI model, and the pilot was paused. Harvard Business Review found that 1 in 3 daily AI users withheld AI-related knowledge from their colleagues. They feared that being more productive would simply mean more work, not better work. And in competitive cultures, AI shortcuts are a personal advantage instead of a shared resource. So if your organisation hasn't answered the question, what's in it for my people, expect resistance and difficulty in measuring the benefits. And bad AI at work is costing more than you think. If you've been working in any sort of commercial organisation where people produce things with computers, you've almost certainly been the victim of irresponsible AI, aka work slop. So the report looks polished. It has all the right headers and structure, but review it in detail and there's no substance. It ignores the specifics of your client or your industry regulations. It's brain dead, lacks critical thought. Now, the next hour is going to be super awkward, trying to decipher it, then ask its producer what it means and why. Congratulations, you have been work slopped. Harvard Business Review defines work slop as low-effort AI-generated content that looks professional but lacks the substance to move anything forwards. Deloitte's Australian government client discovered that the hard way, refunding a $440,000 report whose supporting case studies were entirely fabricated by a confident AI. A government senator summed it up: Deloitte has a human intelligence problem. Ouch. Then EY Canada made the same rookie error, publishing a report to lure in cybersecurity clients with, you guessed it, more AI hallucinated case studies. Security professionals bemoaned that AI was poisoning the well with dodgy data, posing a security risk. Own goal. AI-generated work slop from irresponsible use causes $9 million losses in every 10,000 employees through rework, reputational damage, and awkward conversations. So it's the workplace equivalent of a disposable vape. Easy to produce, expensive to clean up. Their follow-up research suggests the root causes are overstretched teams, under-supported by leadership, or being mandated to use AI without adequate guidance or a verification process. The AI everything sledgehammer is wrecking things in subtle ways. And internally, there are many ways AI adoption can be weakened. So now let's look at the external view and ask, do your customers trust your AI content? Like Barbie, we live in a world of artificial everything. AI slop, that's low-quality AI-generated content, floods social media and business channels alike. LinkedIn is stuffed with formulaic machine-written wisdom that makes your head of procurement in Hull spout like the Wolf of Wall Street. Pinterest is saturated with fake AI imagery as alluring and unreal as the hyperreal trend for baby peacocks. Now, this light misinformation is a cheap trick to make a buck from a few adverts, but there's a more harmful side. Disinformation to support a specific worldview, to move markets, influence elections, or create civil unrest, like TikToks depicting London as a burning hellhole. I'm really not lost as I write this at 37 degrees. The seesaw towards the dead internet when bots rule the ether waves is typical. By November 2025, more than half of all articles were fully AI generated. That's not a light edit, but content creation untouched by a human. Edelman's Trust Barometer found that 1 in 2 people worldwide say they do trust AI. That sounds reassuring, until you narrow it down. If your audience is in Western Europe or the global north, trust drops to below 1 in 3. And the US data shows that 1 in 2 Americans have AI fatigue, with women over 50s and people in rural areas the least likely to trust AI-generated content. There is unexpected AI in the bagging area. Forrester research suggests 1 in 3 brands will hurt rather than help their credibility by promoting AI prematurely. Many times it's clear that brands haven't stopped to ask if the messaging created with AI or brand messaging about the brand's amazing innovative AI is welcome. So ads like this one for AI wine remind me of surfing the World Wide Web messaging from the 90s, tech for tech's sake and very quickly dated. Astrogen's study showed this same advert to different groups, telling each it was made with varying degrees of effort, from low effort, AI generated, to high effort, with an origami artist and an agency. Those who were told the ad was high effort rated it 55% more trustworthy, 53% more innovative, and 40% more creative than the low effort AI version, but the creative was identical. The study authors call this the illusion of effort. If customers believe you haven't tried, they trust you less. Now, if you compete as a commodity solely on costs, you may not care, but as your brand or startup scales, reputation counts, and looking cheap is a high-risk strategy for B2B services, premium products, or those operating in international markets. Unless you want to be known as the wish.com of your industry, too much AI is worse than none at all. Now, these are all forms of corporate madness. AI adoption is out of control. So how do we fix it? We need a method. And the opposite of the mad fool is the sage, the one who gets things fixed with wisdom and judgment. To try my method to think more SAGE, that stands for strategy, adoption, growth, and engagement. STAGE starts with your people and works outwards to your stakeholders and customers. S is for strategy. Align it with your goals, not FOMO. AI hype fuels fear of missing out. The pressure to do something with AI keeps execs busy who need a new thing to hook their reputation to. But the organisations doing it well aren't chasing hype. They're asking what they will get out of it first. Is your AI approach aligned with your growth, innovation, and technology strategy, or is it a bolt-on? Have you designed it alongside your teams to support existing skills and roles? And crucially, where do you sit on the spectrum between disruptive and continuous innovation? Disruptive innovation, the 1997 phrase coined by Clayton Christensen in his best-selling book, The Innovator's Dilemma, redesigns your category entirely. The thinking power of the first wave of digital transformation. Move fast, break things, the mantra on the wall of Facebook's HQ. AI could do the same thing to establish ways of working. Startups can build automation-first processes that disrupt the established flow of the incumbent. Now, continuous innovation improves what you already do. Established brands may need to balance opportunity with disruption, particularly in regulated sectors. Automate carefully by co-designing approaches that evolve carefully with your teams. Move slow, fix things. Now, both are fine approaches. They require different investment levels, risk tolerance, and organisational readiness. The level of disruption your go-to market team may not match what's expected in legal and regs. Rohit Dewan, Director of AI at Lloyd's Banking Group, put it well. We're taking incremental steps to do something exponential. Now, Lloyd's serve 30 million UK customers. It's a regulated industry that needs to get any change absolutely right. There are hard costs, fiscal and reputational, for mistakes. Now, for a smaller business, going too slow may not cut it. So define this. For each area of your business, where do you want to sit between disruptive and continuous innovation? Have you agreed that with your leadership team? A is for adoption, people first and tech second. The typical tech adoption model focuses most of the efforts on investment, about 70%, on the technology itself, making sure the vendor solution solves every use case, procurement drives a mean bargain on overage costs and SLAs. Some thought goes into the data and system integration. Then some months or years later, the solution gets pushed into the hands of people, the remaining 10%. And I'll look at it with a similar curiosity to a monkey handing the mobile phone dropped into its enclosure. What on earth do I do with this? It is backwards. The most successful AI transformations invert the pyramid, putting efforts towards people-led transformation, changing what and how people learn, adapting to new workflows and training the AI, checking how it's going or is and isn't working, and whether it's working better for the end user. Charles Jennings' research showed that 70% of learning comes from doing, 20% from collaboration and peer exchange, and only about 10% from formal training. The models are evolving fast. They're increasingly interchangeable. So what lasts is the capability and culture you build in people working with automation. Building AI fluency, not just using tools, but using AI as an extension of expert thinking, takes at least 20 hours of practical learning. Most organisations aren't anywhere near that, and that's a shame, as research from the Adaptivist Group shows that those getting that level of AI training report better job outcomes, better satisfaction and ability to explain AI's returns and benefits, and they self-report getting 10 hours a week back from being more confident users. That seems like a solid ROI for a few days of training. Successful AI adoption needs a brush that's wide and narrow, wide enough to provide a foundational layer and good enough tools for everyone, and narrow to define specific tools or workflows for that business function. Like previous ways of tech transformation, the adoption gap tracks closely with gender, age, and income. Harvey and Berkeley's 2025 analysis, the largest study to date on AI and the gender adoption gap, found that women are consistently 22% less likely to use AI at work than men. And Pew Research's report on US workers identifies rural women and over 50s as the least likely to engage with AI. If your AI program only works for half of your people who are already tech savvy, privilege and opportunity widens and you won't see the gains. An inclusive approach to AI raises all boats. Every person in your organisation deserves access to the skills and tools they need to grow. Knowledge needs to flow two ways: top-down training and governance to establish the foundation and guardrails. But from the teams I talk with, the best learning is peer-to-peer. A good AI Champions programme channels those who are naturally enthusiastic and want to learn across a range of teams, experience levels and roles, and they can share what's good in the hood and avoid the secrecy of hiding AI learning. So define this. How will you build AI fluency with an inclusive approach across all teams, including those who are disengaged or non-users? The final two stages of SAGE look at external perception. G is for growth, beyond efficiency to co-intelligence. So most AI projects are framed as an efficiency play, aiming to do more with less. The magic being sales folk from big AI sell in double digits just how much faster, quicker, or more can be done at the push of a button. Now, whether these claims, like Sam Altman's from early 2024, that AI would eradicate 95% of marketing jobs in 5 years, the clock is ticking, Sam, hold water, it's a case of suck it and see if it sucks. But efficiency isn't growth. If your team can see that AI adoption means doing the same work faster for the same pay before the inevitable cull, don't be surprised if they disengage. Growth means asking what AI makes possible, not what it makes cheaper. The most exciting opportunity is what Ethan Mollick calls co-intelligence. People and AI working as teammates, not just operators supervising the machine. The cybernetic teammate study with Procter & Gamble found that teams working with AI consistently outperformed individuals working with AI, and those working without it were the least effective. The teams co-working with AI were less siloed, more creative, and reported higher job satisfaction. Note, that does not mean you need to personify your AI or give it a name, even if it's already called Claude. That is the equivalent of putting googly eyes on the Roomba. Do not do it. To grow, you need to be found, and right now your search and web content manager is losing sleep over the slow death of their beloved site. Search traffic has fallen sharply as AI becomes the answer engine. Google now overlays AI summaries on many searches, cutting click-throughs by around a third. So brands that rely on traditional, if we can call it now, SEO, are less discoverable. So what to do? The answer isn't more content, it's more specific expertise and better structured web content that gives answers, technically and conceptually designed for people and bots. And growth isn't about injecting bland AI-generated content into every crevice. That's a trust turnoff. Apply the same good skills of branding for AI as every other corporate message. Make it clear, persuasive, relatable, and show how it solves a problem. Define this. What could AI enable your teams to do together as collaborators, doing more, doing it differently, and hopefully doing it better? And E is for engagement, building external trust. Transparency isn't a policy on your website, and it's not a one or done communication. It's an ongoing dialogue with your stakeholders about how you use AI and what it means for them. And you don't need an expensive ad campaign, but you do need a clear explanation of what you're doing and why. The EU AI Act and other regulations are setting standards, but organisations building trust go beyond that level of compliance. They get customer feedback about using AI in their products and listen to concerns about data privacy. McKinsey's research showed that digital trust leaders, organisations that combine data privacy, responsible AI, and clear communications, are significantly more likely to get 10% or more annual growth. Trust isn't a soft metric, it's commercial too. Now, I've got a wall of awards for branded corporate comms, humble brag, but I'd love to say it's an easy fix. Some bits are, like Channel 4's corporate AI policy, which talks about how they align AI with their values, not just blah, blah, blah about avoiding bias, which is easy to say but very hard to prove. But good corporate and branded content can start a dialogue. Debates invite customers to be part of the discussion. Videos and podcasts, when done well, can position the brand alongside credible experts. And original research helps position by showing the market outlook from the customer's perspective. So define this. How do your customers experience your AI approach, and how do you know that? What opportunities can widen customer dialogue? So that's my SAGE method. Now, the SAGE doesn't acquire instant knowledge from an LLM prompt, sadly, but the SAGE is wise and conscious, sometimes cautious. But in fast-moving tech adoption, you also need to be a bit sanguine, the fast one, upbeat and optimistic, so people follow you on the path. AI adoption is moving beyond the we have an AI program, so is the cost and the scrutiny. The 6 months after this rollout should look very different to this one, and if you're leading the charge, you need to show the gains, not tasks completed. The organisations winning with AI get one thing right, that people trust their approach. They start at the inside and work out, not with licenses and platforms, but by building the relationship. This episode is available as an article, and there's also a handy white paper, Trust Compass, for execs who want to move AI adoption forward. So share that with your boss or peers, and I'll add a link in the show notes. That was Rethinking the Hype Cycle. If you've enjoyed this episode, do sign up on your favourite podcast channel to get future editions, or get it first by email. Sign up at rethink.hypecycle.com. I put a link in the show notes to a 3-month free subscription. And thanks to John Callaghan for his quirky electronic theme tune. I'm Susi O'Neill from Rethinking the Hype Cycle, and until next time, keep it cool and keep it curious.